Have you ever watched your cat just stare blankly at a wall? Or maybe they randomly knock your favorite glass off the table? Or suddenly bite you right in the middle of a cuddle session? Look, it is incredibly easy to feel like you are living with a tiny, baffling alien. But here's the secret. Literally none of these behaviors are random. Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're stepping firmly into the shoes of a feline behaviorist to decode your cat's secret language. We're going to take all those seemingly chaotic actions and translate them into clear psychological drives, instincts, and emotions. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our behaviorist framework for today. 1. The ancient hunter's instincts. 2. Territory, marking, and ownership. 3. Decoding boundaries and moods. 4. Critical health warning signs. And 5. The ultimate trust signals. This structure is going to help us categorize all that random chaos into very real psychological drives.
All right, part 1. The ancient hunter's instincts. The wild predator in your living room. Beneath all that domestic fluff, they are wired exactly the same as their wild ancestors.
To truly understand the hunter, you have to look at the hardwired sequence of the hunt. Every single hunt in nature follows these exact steps: stalk, chase, catch, kill, and eat. And this sequence right here, it is exactly why laser pointers can quietly frustrate your cat. Think about it. The red dot perfectly triggers the stalk and the chase. It lights up their hunting circuitry brilliantly. But they can never actually catch it. It deprives the cat of that absolutely crucial catch phase, leaving them with an unfinished, frustrating psychological loop. So as a behaviorist fix, always end the laser game by landing the dot on a real, physical toy they can actually grab.
Now that same ancient programming affects how they drink. Why on earth do cats ignore a perfectly fresh bowl of water just to demand a drink from a dripping bathroom faucet? Well, in the wild, moving water is instinctively safer and fresher than stagnant water. But clinically speaking, there's a sneaky physiological reason hiding right there at the bowl itself: whisker fatigue. A cat's whiskers are intensely sensitive. A deep, narrow bowl forces those whiskers to bend uncomfortably against the sides every single time they take a drink. It actually feels terrible. So they just avoid the bowl entirely.
And then, of course, we have the classic box phenomenon. You toss an empty box on the floor and boom, your cat is instantly inside it. To a behaviorist, this isn't just cute, it is the enclosed safety protocol. Remember, in the wild, a cat is a predator, but they are also prey. An enclosed space with walls on every side narrows the whole world down to just one defendable entrance. Nothing can sneak up from behind, making it the absolute perfect spot to feel safe while waiting to ambush. Moving on to Section 2, Territory, Marking, and Ownership. You live in their kingdom. It's all about how scent and spatial control govern their feeling of security. This framework perfectly explains why cats totally lose their minds over a closed bathroom door. It's not just that they miss you. A closed door blocks their established hardwired patrol routes. It seals off a whole part of their kingdom, creating this unbearable visual uncertainty. They simply cannot confirm if that room is safe anymore. And yes, it also separates them from you. And remember, in the behaviorist framework, you are their primary resource.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens when your cat walks up and presses their head into your face or rubs along your leg. It's a behavior officially called bunting. You see, a cat's face is absolutely loaded with scent glands. By rubbing against you, or even your books or laptop, they are calculatedly depositing their own scent and mixing it with yours. In feline terms, they are explicitly marking you as safe, familiar, and claimed. It's a very literal way of saying, hey, you are family.
That exact same territorial drive applies to your furniture. Your couch isn't just a comfortable place to sit. To your cat, it's a giant billboard. Scratching does help them shed worn claws and, get a deep backstretch, but primarily, it's a marking behavior. Cats have scent glands right there in their paws. Every scratch leaves a massive visual mark and an invisible scent flag that loudly declares, "This territory is mine." Punishing them for destroying the couch usually fails entirely, because the urge to mark is hardwired. They don't need a scalding, they just need a sturdier, taller scratching post to redirect that instinct.
Section 3. Decoding boundaries and moods. How to read the physical warning signs. Cats constantly broadcast exactly how they're feeling.
I like to call this the mood decoder ring. Your cat's ears and tail serve as this live, highly mobile readout of their internal emotional state. Let's start at the top. Ears forward, they're calm, curious, and confident. Swiveled out to the side like airplane wings, they are experiencing irritation and unease. And ears flattened tight against the head is a clear danger sign indicating fear and aggression.
Down below, an upright, quivering tail is pure, undeniable joy. It's a friendly greeting. But a tucked tail means fear, and a puffed bottle brush tail screams alarm.
But here is the absolutely crucial miscommunication that happens all the time, especially if you're used to dogs. A dog swishing its tail means, "I am so happy and excited to see you." If a cat's tail is whipping from side to side, especially if it's fast and low to the ground, it means, "I am highly agitated, irritated, and you need to back off immediately." A hard, thrashing cat tail is a severe warning broadcast right before a physical escalation. Read it early and give them their space.
Failing to read those early warning signs is exactly why your cat might suddenly bite you right in the middle of a really nice cuddle session. Behaviorists call this overstimulation. The petting feels amazing at first, but cats have highly sensitive nervous systems. Repeated strokes build up sensation until it suddenly tips from pleasant into completely overwhelming. That little bite, it's just the bluntest way they have of saying, "Okay, enough." But here's the thing, they almost always warn you first. Watch for their skin rippling, a twitching tail, or those airplane ears we just talked about, and you can totally avoid the nip.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate misread signal, the belly trap. When your cat flops onto its back and exposes its soft belly, you see an adorable invitation for a belly rub. Obviously, right? But to the cat, that belly holds all their most fiercely protected vital organs. In the wild, exposing it is a massive, massive risk. So when they show it to you, it is a display of complete surrender and trust. They are saying, "I feel so safe with you, I can actually expose my weakest point." Reaching in to rub it violates that trust and instantly triggers a defensive reflex. Admire the belly? Do not touch the belly.
Moving to Section 4. Critical health warning signs. When behavior actually signals a cry for help.
Now we need to shift gears for a second, because the most dangerous instinct a cat has when it comes to their health is masking pain. A normally social cat that suddenly disappears into a dark closet or under the bed isn't just sulking. In the wild, showing illness makes you an easy target. Cats evolved to hide weakness entirely. Because this runs so deeply in their DNA, by the time a cat withdraws and visibly looks sick, they have likely been hurting for quite a while. Sudden persistent hiding is a major, major red flag.
Another massive red flag is peeing outside the litter box. This is probably the behavior that makes owners the angriest. But to a behaviorist, it is the loudest distress signal a cat possesses. It is literally never done out of malice. Sometimes it's simply because the box is too dirty or they are stress marking due to tension in the house, like a new pet. But critically, it is very often an early sign of a serious urinary infection. They're just asking for medical help in the only language they have. Keep an eye out for that.
And finally, Section 5. The ultimate trust signals, proof that you are their safest place in the world. If your cat has ever aggressively licked your hand or your hair with that rough, scratchy sandpaper tongue, you've experienced allo grooming. Cats strictly reserve this grooming behavior for their inner circle. They simply do not groom animals they dislike. Clinically speaking, when your cat licks you, they are instinctually folding you into their family unit and spreading a shared scent that deeply bonds you together. It is an incredibly warm gesture. Then there is the famous making biscuits. When your cat climbs onto your lap, gets that glazed look in their eyes, and starts kneading their paws left and right, sometimes with that adorable little elevator butt, they are actually reverting to the first days of their life. This motion links directly back to how a nursing kitten stimulates its mother's milk. When an adult cat does it to you, it represents pure peace. They are treating you as their ultimate source of maternal warmth, safety, and comfort.
So the crucial point is that context means absolutely everything. Take this really common scenario. Your cat sits down right next to you and deliberately turns their back so they are facing completely away. It feels like a snud, doesn't it? But a behaviorist sees this as a profound compliment. An animal's most vulnerable moment is when it cannot see what's behind it. By turning their back, they are showing they feel safe enough to let you guard their blind spot. You have literally been handed the role of their protector.
Which brings us to the highest compliment of all, choosing to sleep on you. Your cat has the whole house to choose from, but sleep is when an animal is completely defenseless. As this quote perfectly captures, you're not furniture it lies on. You're the one spot where it can switch off, drop every defense, and rest. Think about that. Despite every ancient instinct screaming at them to stay alert, they look at you and decide that you are the absolute safest place in the world.
By understanding these hardwired drives, the hunter, the map maker, the silent communicator, you quickly realize your cat isn't random at all. They are speaking a complex, ancient language to you every single day. So look closely at the behaviors we've decoded today. The next time your cat stares blankly at the wall or swishes their tail, ask yourself, are you just seeing a pet, or are you finally seeing the wild, calculating apex predator studying its kingdom? So, which of these behaviors sounds exactly like your cat?